This is my bike and this is me coming up. The title should explain everything to get you going on this film, and I'm going to let you listen into this first section, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you all about my suffering and all about the route for this ride on this day.
I suppose some of you, how many people have cycled more than 10 miles to get here? No? Okay, so you all come in your cars. So it's all got a pretty large carbon footprint already. And anybody doing the 50 miles that you want to admit to that this morning? No, they're all doing 100 miles already. So we'll be starting you off. Nice and cool, so you should do very well today. Have a day cycling ahead. Morning, that's very bad luck. And we'll discuss the subject today on your way either. So it's a perfect day cycling ahead.
Too quick. Apparently Eastbourne were a bit shaky about having the ride, and they won't have it again next year if cyclists misbehave along the front in Eastbourne. So you all know what that means. Just, you know, only one ice cream at a time as you cycle along the front, okay? And no going for a blow along the front. There we go. Right.
2, 1.
That's done like a pro, that is. That's fantastic. Off you go. Have a wonderful day. Just get the first lot of you out. It's a little bit of off-road to start with, for those of you who bought your mountain bikes with your slicks. Fantastic, some beautiful bikes heading out. Fine, bushy strides, striving through the day. This is the Bayeux landscapes, and they'll be weaving a tapestry across Sussex today as they, that's a fantastic, where are you lot from? Hastings. They're from Hastings, of course. Bayeux tapestries from Hastings. Are you raising money for anyone in particular, or just do it out for the day? Out for the day. What a bunch of stinge bags. There you go. Some bikers hospital. There you go. Oh god, I've really dug myself in it. Well done. Let's do this. Right then, are we ready, Mr. Jeremy? It's 16 minutes past. Welcome to Brighton, and we'll see you back in about a couple of hours, by the look of you. Yes, have a grand day. Okay, who wants to count us down? Yes. I can hear them getting into their cleats. It's a lovely sound.
Anyway, I left at 7:18 here, and I was having to go through and take some film of some of the classic sites of Brighton, but the route kind of like didn't go along the seafront, so I was a bit distressed here. I was trying to get the pavilion, and I got a really good shot of this traffic light, and I was kind of like dithering whether to go and film it across the road, but I couldn't be bothered because there's still another 99 miles to go. So this is just outside Brighton, heading along the coast towards Newhaven. And it was a gorgeous morning, beautiful morning. So the route follows the main road, and I know this road quite well because my grandmother used to live down in Rottingdean and then Saltdean, which is here, but I've never cycled along here, so this is my first time. So up and down to Newhaven, and then it turns inland and heads through the South Downs. I've never been along this road either. This goes to Lewes. Very nice section. I wasn't wearing a watch, and I don't actually own one, and I didn't have a bike computer on, so I completely lost track of time going along here. So this must have been after 8 o'clock. But eventually you see Lewes there, and to my shame I've never actually been to Lewes, but the ride takes you through it, so it looked really nice, so I might go back and have another look. I took most of this film in the first 50 miles, so I was indulging myself a bit here, but you can see it was a beautiful golden autumn day, and I was filming away from the sun, so it should look really good in HD. This is just outside Lewes looking north, and this is actually the route coming back goes through this countryside, so it gives you a bit of an idea what it was like. I think the first half is the best half scenically. This is where I stopped for the first time, and I just had my energy drinks and had a banana and refueled, basically. Still a long way to go. Probably about 75 miles from here. And that's looking back to the South Downs, that's a good shot. And heading towards Alfriston. So this just follows through loads of these little lanes, pretty flat. I know you got chopped off by the level crossing here. So the ride crosses the main Lewis to Eastbourne Road and heads towards Alfriston. It's a very nice section, but all the time I'm thinking about the big climbs which are at the coast at Seven Sisters. I've done it before once.
Get me one, I'm still alive.
You'll be on, yeah, on YouTube, Brighton 100.
So I think I was at about the 30-mile mark here, so I was in pretty good shape and still raring to go. But that's about to change. I was stopping to film quite a bit this first 50, so I gradually started to lose contact with the main bunch and of cyclists. So normally I do these 100-mile rides in about 8 hours 15, 8 hours 20. I've done about probably at least a dozen now, and they're all pretty well consistent at times. But this is the first time I've done this route, and this is where my troubles really started. This climb out of Seven Sisters, because the film doesn't do it really justice, because it's very, very steep, but a terrific view looking down, and the road was busy as well, which I didn't like. So it flattens off a bit, and then it climbs again, not so steep, but it's not exactly welcome, and then it's a nice downhill section, and then you turn off and head up to Beachy Head, which I have filmed, which is coming up now. It doesn't look so bad, this climb. At the time it's quite hard, and as you see this car coming here, you can get some idea of the scale. So it's not too steep at the beginning, but it's you can see there. Yeah, some people make it look easy, and that first person's more me. It's just looking back along the coast towards Brighton. And then when you get to the top, I had to get off the bike and actually push it to go into the coast to get these shots of Eastbourne coming up and of Beachy Head Lighthouse. So you get this terrific view of Eastbourne, and beyond there, that's Pevensey level, where the ride's going to go in the afternoon. Look at that blue sea there. It almost looks like the Caribbean, but it's not. It's the English Channel. So you follow the road down into Eastbourne. It twists and turns. Really good downhill, actually. Good fun. And Eastbourne was the halfway stopping point, where you had to take a half an hour compulsory stop. And had a bit of a long lunch here. And I had a puncher, which was a bit of a pain, but I sorted it out pretty quickly. That's Beachy Head looking back. And there's a mechanic there, so I could use his proper pump to pump them up. So always take spare inner tubes. I always take two, so it's not such a big crisis if you have a puncture. I got here about 10 to 12, and I didn't know it at the time, but there were people getting back to Brighton who've done the whole ride, and I've only done 50 miles, and I've still got another 50 to go. But it shows you the standard of some people. But for me, it was a tough afternoon. I find on these long 100-mile rides, your body packs up at various times, and usually my bottom starts aching at about the 35-mile mark, and it starts to become a psychological exercise as well as a physical exercise. And for me, the afternoon, it was hard. I was kind of like freewheeling on the downhill sections and just pedaling on the uphill and the very flat. So I didn't take much film after lunch, and I just struggled back, and it was I literally got back at 2 minutes to 6 when it's due to actually close. It didn't close at 6, but I did actually do this final climb up Devil's Dyke, which is another vicious climb, which you don't really want to do at the end of 100 miles. But I was lucky enough to get these shots of Brighton and Hove at the magic hour, so it was worth it in that respect. But some people finished 6 hours before me, and I finished in it was nearly 11 hours, I guess, and normally I do it in about 8 1/4, so you can see how tough the course was. Yeah, you can see the time. This is when I filmed it, and I actually got clapped by the few people left, so that was nice.